It's Woodward Sports. Welcome to the show. We got Herman Moore on the line, which I'm very excited about. I grew up watching Lions football. The last time that I've ever seen them win a playoff game, and the last playoff win that they've had in the past, I feel like 100 years, Herman Moore was a part of that team. Herman is on the line right now. Herman, how you doing this morning, man?
Hey, you know what? I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
It's always great to talk to you. I had the opportunity. You came in here a couple weeks ago, and can you turn your phone sideways real quick? Some people are saying that you're looking kind of funky on the screen right now. All right, thank you, man. So, I mean, obviously it's Super Bowl weekend. What does somebody like you, who's an ex-player, who obviously has love for the game, what do you plan for Super Bowl weekend?
Not much. I'm just going to sit and watch Super Bowl, eat food, have a couple of my favorite beverages, and that's about it. And watch Kansas City beat up on Tampa Bay. That's about it.
Oh, starting off hot. Just comes with the heat.
Starting off hot.
So, Herman, obviously the big talk around Detroit the past week has been the Matthew Stafford trade. You had an opportunity to play with some decent quarterbacks here. I wouldn't say you ever played with a super all-star quarterback. How do you feel that the Lions fared in this trade for Matthew Stafford, or trading Stafford?
All right, so some technical difficulties, but Herman will be back shortly. There he is. Herman, how are you?
Yeah, I'm back.
How do you feel about the Stafford trade, Herman?
With Stafford, I think a lot of people were concerned that the Lions weren't going to get anything for that trade, but I feel that it was pretty even. Obviously, this is an opportunity for Matt to start his career. Not start it, but take his career to a different level, I think, in a different place. Sometimes you can get a new start, you have a new team, and that gives you the ability to kind of jumpstart some things. For him, he's just had 12 great years in Michigan, but you could be the piece that's missing for other teams. And with Jared Goff coming here, he's a younger player. The Lions could look to build more around him. I think they have a good core of young talent, but they still have to make some other picks to help make this team come full circle.
Now, I want to go a little bit away from Stafford. I want to go into one question I really have for you, Herman. And I know you see this right here. This is a familiar product to you. What do you think the Lions should do about Calvin Johnson as far as paying him his money back this week? He's up for Hall of Fame selection, and he's possibly going to go in on as a first ballot. Do you think the Lions should give him his money back? And second, do you think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer?
I think we lost him again. You there, Herman?
Yep, I'm here.
And what is that?
All right. Go ahead, Kory. Ask that question one more time.
So, Herman, I was going to ask you, Calvin Johnson, he's up for Hall of Fame selection this weekend. He's going to know whether he's going to be in the Hall of Fame or not. Do you think that the Lions should go ahead and repay him the money that he's seeking? And second, the follow-up with that, do you feel that Calvin Johnson is a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yeah, I think that they should definitely try and make amends there. And great player. He's considered second to Barry Sanders, or right up there with him as being the two best players to ever play for Detroit. And I think when you look at it, it was a petty thing that took place with the money, given the caliber of player that he has. When you look at how Matthew Stafford was sent off, you just wish that guys like Barry and Calvin, even myself to a lesser extent, we'd have an opportunity to have that same send-off without controversy, because this is a great moment for Calvin. I really believe that some are going to try and argue against why he should wait. It's always hard for a wide receiver to make it their first turn, unless you're like Jerry Rice, and your stats are just off the chart. But Calvin was a person who changed the game. I mean, he's a big guy. That they look for those that dominated the game, and he can check all those boxes. So I look for him to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And that'll be a great thing for him and a great thing, I think, for the team. But it'll come with a little bit of a taint to it.
Yeah, and that's the sad part is, like, even when the Lions have great things, it seems like we don't treat them the way that we should be treating them. And I want to talk to you because we haven't been able to experience a playoff win in Detroit since you and your team won one. Can you just describe, like, the energy of a Detroit playoff win?
You really can't compare it because it's only happened once, unfortunately, in the last 30 plus years or whatever. But it's one of those moments where you think that everything's possible, especially when you look at a Super Bowl. You look at the opportunity to go to the next level and be mentioned among those that have not just participated in a Super Bowl game, but have won one. And we came one game shy of that. The excitement that goes around just winning in general, it sets the bar, it sets an expectation that is a lot bigger than what we've seen in the culture here over the past years. I think with the Lions and everything that they're doing now with the coaching changes, and it seems like they're bringing in different people that are unlike what we've seen in the past be the type choices that they look for. I think that excitement could come back. I don't think Ford Field will ever be like the Silverdome. I don't know if it ever have that magic, but at the same time, it was just an outstanding film.
Yeah, the Silverdome was an absolute madhouse. Like, I remember going there as a kid and just my eyes were open. There were beer being thrown everywhere, fights, and then just crazy great football on the field, and I miss that energy.
Hey, so Herman, I just wanted to ask you a quick question about your thoughts on Dan Campbell and biting a kneecap off. I mean, I feel like in recent years, I mean, this is like one of the best hype moments that we've had for a Lions organization where, as a fan, it makes us really excited because you don't see this out of our coaches in recent years.
No, I was just wondering if that was going to become a new menu item around the city. You know, you get some kneecaps and some ankles. And then, do you want that seared or do you want it fried? You know what I mean? So it's like
deep fried, always deep fried.
Yeah, I guess that'd be the next thing we do for Thanksgiving. So maybe they don't give out those turkey legs; they give out kneecaps and ankles. That's going to be a long one. That's going to be one that's going to be around for a while. But Coach Campbell, man, a lot of people are kind of mixed about the hire. Personally, I feel that he's got the components that you need. Someone that you really don't know what you're going to get. You just know he's played in some pretty successful systems. You know he coached and mentored under Sean Payton. You also know that he's put some other former players around him who are good players, Pro Bowlers, all pros and stuff like that. You know that in the front office they have some people who really are spending some time and attention and have a track record of making certain picks and assembling certain types of players. Right now, I really like what's happened so far this offseason. I like the trade with Stafford. I like the fact that they've made these different changes upstairs that will affect a lot that takes place on the field. So there's a little bit of excitement, I think, and a buzz that you feel that's taking place because it's not the same old Lions. It's not the same old choices and decisions. So, but yet, they still have to take it to the field and win.
What do you think it is about what Dan Campbell said in that press conference that people outside of Detroit misunderstood? Because he caught a lot of flack from the national media, but in Detroit, it seems like it went over more well than it didn't. So what do you think about that?
One, I think he was nervous. That's one. It's a big stage. You're becoming a head coach of an NFL franchise. That's not something that's small and light. The other part of it was I think he probably thought about it too hard, and he wanted to make a bigger impression than needed to be made. People here have heard it all. It doesn't really matter what you say, so keep it short and sweet. They're going to judge you by the choices you make on the field, the way your players respond to your coaching style, and your wins and losses. That's it. I mean, anything else you say is just a soundbite.
So Dan Campbell is more of like a motivational coach, and some people were complaining that he wasn't an X's and O's guy. In your career, what would you rather play for? A rah-rah coach or a guy that can kill the X's and O's?
You need a mixture of both, but I'd rather have a coach that's going to let me play. He's going to let me know that I understand the game, allow me to grow, put people around me in terms of players, but also in the coaching staff that's going to add to helping me, just really harness and just really sharpen my tools. Other than that, we understand the X's and O's. If you can't be a starter in the NFL, and you shouldn't be out on the field if you don't understand execution and you don't understand X's and O's. That has nothing to do with the coach. The coach is just there to be an orchestrator. He's just there to just kind of make sure everybody's assembled right. He's making sure that the plays that we're going with and the strategy is being met. He's following a timeline during the game. He's following a playbook. That's all it is. Other than that, he can't help a player run faster, catch a pass, make a tackle, or anything like that. So it doesn't matter how smart he is. It doesn't matter how vocal he is. His job is done once we take to the field.
Now, Herman, the Lions have done one of the more impressive overhauls with their coaching staff, and one thing that really stuck out to me was the diversity that is now in the front office and on the coaching staff. And just like the Buccaneers, they're kind of similar to the Buccaneers by having a very diverse coaching staff. What do you think about the Lions' efforts to increase their diversity in the front office and on the field?
It's been good to see that they have added a little bit more diversity. It's long overdue. There's been a sprinkle here or there, but now I think there's still more to be done. I'm not going to sit and just say because there's been a few people in executive positions. I think that's an effect that needs to take place throughout the entire organization across the board. I've never been that as vocal about it, but you have to just kind of close your eyes and be blind to it to see that there's a bigger effort that can be made there. And that's not to go after the Lions as much as it is to encourage them to do more and to understand that there are a lot of talented people, a very diverse group of people that can add to the mix, and that you don't have to always keep going back to the same well.
I love it. We're speaking with Herman Moore right now. Obviously, he was on the last Lions team to win a playoff game, and so close to that Super Bowl, man, just so close. I remember being a kid, and I remember this story. Herman, you can confirm if it's true or not, but the night before or like the week before you guys played the Redskins, when the hotel you were staying at, like they served you guys some like soft Redskin potatoes to kind of like pump you up to show how soft the Redskins are, and then they fed them like tough lion meat. Was that true, or is that just something I heard as a kid?
I think you might have heard that as a kid, and I don't, the Redskin potatoes. I mean, I think it has a nice little ring to it. It sounds real good. Got this lion meat, and then you got some Redskin potatoes and all that stuff. But I don't know. I think I had just the pasta. You would think we would get better meals, man, as players. You think we'd have a pretty more. You talk about diversity. What about a better diverse menu? Why can't I have like some high end food before a game? I don't want pasta and sauce and maybe a steak. I mean, that's okay.
What was your pregame ritual? Like before you got ready for a playoff game, like what was your ritual? Obviously you had your meal. Did you, spat up the cleats? What'd you do in the locker room?
I don't know, just kind of, my locker wasn't far from Barry. I know he and I were usually sleeping. And then we you get that last rest because it calms you. A lot of people go like, well, what do you mean? They probably like, the Lions looked like you were sleeping the whole way through the playoffs. But it's a way of calming this before the storm, right? And for me, I would listen to music. Usually it was Otis Redding or some type of real soulful music. And then I would go out on the field, get my stretch, get my warm up. And then from then on, it's all in complete total focus. That was kind of my thing. And the night before was always tough because it was hard to go to sleep. So I very seldom got a lot of sleep the night before a game.
Now, obviously, the closest you guys have been was that in 1992 NFC Championship game, which you guys lost to Washington. Was there a team that you were on, Lions roster that you were on, that you felt outside of that team was good enough to go all the way?
I think the 1995 team was definitely one. We unfortunately got off to a bad start, and I think if memory serves me correct, we had to have a 7-game run to get into the playoffs. But we rolled into the playoffs pretty hot, only to get just destroyed by the Philadelphia Eagles because we had a disastrous first half and fell behind, and it was just a lead that we just could not regain control over. But outside of that, I mean, I think every year you're in the playoffs, we had 6 opportunities.
Obviously, you guys made it to the playoffs. What was the culture like back then for the Lions? Was there still this kind of chaos between upper management and like Wayne Fonts and you guys, or was it a cohesive unit back then that just kind of disintegrated over the past 30 years?
That's a good way of putting it. No, it was very cohesive. We were a very together unit. It was definitely family, and a lot of people didn't like the way Wayne Fonts coached, but he got the most out of us because he treated us like men. It was a good culture because we treat each other like brothers. We hung out, we spent time together. There were those, we had leadership within every unit, not just one leader amongst all of us. And then we had guys that we depended on to make sure that they were consistent every game. So you had your core guys that need to make sure they showed up and showed out every week. And then you had the other support players that really need to come in and just not make mistakes. They need to just be solid in what they did. And the coaches, again, just need to kind of get out of the way and let us go.
Earlier this week, former Steelers head coach Bill Cowher said that he never viewed the Detroit Lions as a tough team. And I just want to see, what are your thoughts about that comment?
It depends on the teams that he faced, because if he won against every Detroit Lion time, every team that he faced, then I guess he could make that case. But I think that would be tough to say about any NFL team, that every team's got the capability of beating you. And even those that are down and are 0 and whatever at certain times in their career, there comes a chance that you can get beat. So it's not about whether or not you have to fear them. I think that's hard for a Lion fan or the organization to probably hear, because that tells you what people think about the organization, and it's choices of putting together a championship caliber team.
So let's get into the Super Bowl happening this weekend. I mean, you obviously alluded earlier that Kansas City's going to whoop that ass. But saying that, which quarterback, if you had to go into the Super Bowl, let me rephrase this. If you could be added to either team right now going into the Super Bowl, which team would you pick?
I have to go with Tampa Bay, because Brady has more of a control style. It depends on if a guy like Coach Ross or something like that was my coordinator or my coach, because he's not going to throw it to me down the field. So I need somebody who's going to throw me a more controlled pass and let me work in between the hashes right there a little bit, and work in the middle, work on the outside, and just chop it down the field.
How much do you think you would have blown up the league now that they can't hit you going over the middle compared to when you were playing and you would get lit up going over that middle?
I would be able to play till I was 43. The middle is a place to go. The thing is, what you earned your stripes by going over the middle. So that's where the players now are missing. It's cool that they're amassing all these yards, but you want to show how tough you were, and you want to show that you were really a fearless receiver. I think if you haven't shown that you're battle ready over the middle, I don't know. You got to be a different type of wide receiver. You can't be classified with the tough guys.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest difference between the wide receivers nowadays and the wide receivers when you were playing. It's similar to like the NBA, back in the Jordan era, where you could hand check, you could body check, you could tug on some guys and you could light them up over the middle. Now, these guys have no fear, because if somebody hits you hard, it's 15 more yards.
Yeah, it is. And I feel bad for the defensive players, because when you look at this, it's a strange rule, because you can tell that probably a majority of the time they're not trying to go and hit a defenseless player. They're not trying to. It's just instinct. It's something that you're taught all the way up through the NFL, and then you finally get to the apex of your career, and all of a sudden now everything you've been taught and how to tackle and how to go in, you really can't. Now some guys do target, yeah, you can see that clearly, but then there are others that are just trying to make a play and to be flagged for that. It hurts your defensive side of the football.
So who do you got as your Super Bowl MVP?
Gosh, man, that's a tough one.
Right?
I'm going to go with Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
Oh.
That's what Joey picked.
Yeah, we agreed on one thing. I did not agree with you on the winner.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have some big plays. I think they're gonna try and contain him early, but they're gonna have to at some point go man, or they're gonna have to loosen up and go some type of a single zone coverage. And when they do that, I think he's just impossible to cover.
Yeah, he's just very fast, and the motion that they use him in, and just the way they, pretty much split the field on this weird 90-degree angle route that they have him and Kelsey run. It really throws
So
the
fast.
defense through. It puts man defense under pressure, and it puts zone defense under pressure with that speed. Okay, so I guess let's get into it, man. Do you have a final score prediction? I know you think it's going to be a routing. What do you think the final score is going to be?
I picked 28-31, and I only made it by a field goal because I do think that the spread's going to hold, but I don't think that it's going to be a blowout type game. It could be, but I'm not feeling that. I think that there's too much control style that can take place on both sides, and I think there's going to be aggressive play when needed by both sides. So I think they're matched up very evenly. I like the defense on both sides. However, pass rush for Tampa is going to be a beast. But I think the offense for Kansas City is going to be a challenge for the secondary.
Hey Herman, man, you got to talk to us about this Golden Grooming Company. You know, my friend Germ, he think he did some work for you back in the day, and he gave me some stuff to use for my beard. Trying to get it to come in. Talk to us a little bit about it.
But it looks like my stuff is failing you, man. I don't see any hair on your face right there. Where's your beard hair?
Hey, pass that over. Pass that over, Kory.
I had to cut it off.
But tell us a little bit about it, Herman.
Get into manufacturing. We're doing a lot with entrepreneurship. We're going to grow a lot of companies and a lot of businesses this 2021 to help keep people not only employed but spawn a new era of entrepreneurial people. And Golden Grooming is a great cause for me to create a men's care product specifically for American men. But we have a lot of philanthropic efforts that we're putting behind it to make sure that you look good, you feel good, you do good. So that's kind of the model for that, and we got a lot more companies coming after that.
That's awesome, man. It's good to see you. That's one thing I love about a lot of the Detroit former players. Like, you stick around the area, and we kind of talked about this earlier in the week. Jared Goff coming from L.A., where you got paparazzi following you all around, and it's going to be a completely different experience where he's going to be able to go enjoy a meal here, and nobody's going to bother him. Is that kind of why you stuck around Detroit, or you just felt like, I love when people love this city? Why'd you stick around?
Well, because it's where I have all my connections. I came here when I was early 20s, and since then, this has really become home. Virginia, I still keep a home there. Recently just moved my mom here so that she could be here with my sister and I, and my sister and me. And so it's a place now that with myself, my family, it's home. And the people here have been nothing but special and exciting. The fan base has been wonderful. The business opportunities have been just overwhelming. And so I look to continue to be a part of the communities here and continue to bring just goodwill to those that have helped me and supported me throughout my career.
That's awesome, man. Well, I can't thank you enough for coming on with us this morning. You have a standing invite for whatever the hell you ever want to come on and talk about. You just let us know, and you got an open mic here at Woodward Sports, and we can't appreciate you enough. It's a childhood dream to talk to you. You guys were my idols, and, I know we're not that far apart in age, but I still, man, like those memories that you guys gave us, and I always try to say this to athletes when I meet them, is thank you for the memories, because that's beyond what you guys make in money and beyond the game that you guys play and fulfill yourself. Like, I hope you guys realize the memories that you're able to give other people, and like the bonding moments that I had with my dad watching you guys play. I wouldn't have had that without your greatness, so thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thanks a lot. And I will make sure so we don't have the technical difficulties of people trying to call me because I'm doing this from my phone. That's probably what you were missing. But I want to make sure, and that's how my morning starts. There's a lot of people calling me all day, but I definitely want to come in. It's been a pleasure getting to know all you guys down there at Woodward. And I really look forward to coming down to the studio and shooting it up over there with you guys.
Hey, are you a betting man, Herman?
Oh, come on now, of course.
All right, Herm. I've always wanted to do a bet against a star legend like you. I'm going 50 on the Bucks. You in?
50?
50 on hey, don't make fun of me for how little I put on it. But 50 on the Bucks. You doing it or no?
Hey, no, I was just trying to take if that was the over under or what we were doing here. So yeah, if we're going 50, we could do that. I'll take Kansas City.
Straight money line. All right,
There
you got KC. So we're gonna
Hey,
talk to
hold
you
on,
on
but
Monday.
hold
All
on.
right, we're gonna do a follow up to this.
All right, but hold up. Listen, this day and age, I know the IRS is tough on people. I want you to pay me in nickels and dimes. I don't want all that
Okay.
or Bitcoin or something, man. You got to pay me in something that, I don't want to pay all that stuff you got.
Okay, cool. I'll make sure your bank teller is ready for you to go over there and get me all my quarters that I need once I win.
All right, you do that. Make sure they're in good rolls,
All right,
too. Don't
200.
bring me that loose change.
Yeah, we don't do that. All right, so we'll talk on Monday, Herman.
There's a coin shortage, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Herman Moore.